Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we start our new story, and if you like our old story 10, don't forget to like, subscribe. Now start our story. Lately I've been waking up still exhausted. Even if I went to bed early, I'd wake up feeling like I haven't slept in days. Trying to get out of bed for work was almost impossible, which was strange for me because I was always a high energy sort of person. A few hours of sleep and I was always good to go. I was at a loss as what could have been happening after a barrage of tests. Even my doctor couldn't find anything wrong with me. The only recent change in my life was my boyfriend, who had moved in and now was sharing a bed for the first time in my life. Steven was the first love of my life, and this was my first serious relationship. I don't want to spoil things by making him sleep in the spare room. I liked having Steven around. He made a real fuss over me, and he would bring me chamomile tea every night before bed. The pain in my hip was sharp and pulsated up the right side of my body. I jumped from my bed and nearly collapsed to the floor as I struggled to get to the bathroom. Steven, can you get in here? I cried. A big dark bruise covered my hip as if I was assaulted in my sleep with a metal bar. What's wrong? Steven said as he came rushing into the bathroom. Did I fall out of bed or something? Steven had a weird expression on his face. I could swear he looked guilty about something. Probably, I don't know. His response was dismissive, which set my brain spiraling with all sorts of thoughts. This is not normal. Steven, the first think there's something wrong with me. You probably see a doctor, then he coldly said before quickly leaving the bathroom. My doctor was still at a loss and suggested I should see someone who could rule out anything nefarious. Steven was still dismissive of me as we drove to the hospital. I'm sure it's nothing. You're probably just stressed from work. People don't wake up with bruises over stress, I angrily thought to myself. The doctor at the hospital took my blood and did all sorts of tests on me, including a stress test. I should have been happy when the test came back clear, but it only made me feel like I was losing my mind. Something was definitely wrong with me. I would prescribe you sedatives, but your blood work shows you were already on Nitram, explained the doctor. I was dumbstruck. It wasn't sure what the doctor was talking about. I've never taken so much as a painkiller in my life. The doctor's face looked how I felt. He took out his charts and looked over them again. No, you definitely tested positive for the nitrozium, which is a powerful sedative. Later that evening, as I sat in bed, a million different thoughts ran through my head. How was that even possible? I thought to myself as I sat there. Steven walked in with my chamomile tea, and just as I was about to put it to my lips, I was struck by the most unnerving thought. The realization that my boyfriend was drugging me hit me like a ton of bricks and filled me with a dread I had never felt before. I emptied the contents of the cup down the sink in the bathroom before jumping back into bed. Was it hot enough for you? Asked Steven as he jumped into bed beside me. Perfect as always. I felt as if I was lying beside a complete stranger. Had I ever really known him? I thought to myself as I lay there terrified. He was doing unimaginable things to me while I slept. I must have drifted off at some stage, because when I woke up my room was a mess, and Steven was nowhere to be seen. My body ached all over and it felt like I was in a fight. What the hell was he doing to me in my sleep? I thought I had made the decision to go to the police, but I needed evidence, or it was just my word against his. I had perched a hidden camera and set it up in the bathroom, pointed in towards the bed. I woke up exhausted as usual, which unfortunately meant you had done something to me while I slept, but I had it on camera. I opened my laptop to check the footage. For the first couple of hours of sleep, nothing happened. For a moment I had hoped I was imagining everything until I watched myself jolt from the bed. At first I couldn't believe what I was doing. It felt like I was watching a horror movies as I watched myself crawl up the bedroom wall like some possessed demon. I continued to crawl up the wall onto the ceiling, looking down over Steven like I was ready to pounce on him. Steven woke, and it was a strange watching him because it was like he was prepared for what was happening and didn't seem fazed by it. He took a stick out from under the bed as I pounced from the ceiling above, and he spent the next hour fighting me off. I watched as he subdued me on the bed before pulling out handcuffs and cuffing me to the bed. I looked at the marks of my wrist, which makes sense now. As soon as Stephen came home from work, I ran and threw my arms around him. Why didn't you tell me what you're going through every night? Stephen shrugged his shoulders. I thought you knew, and usually the drugs I was giving you made things a little easier. Why are you even so with me? My last girlfriend was a jealous psychopath. You're a walk in the park comparator. Thanks for today, guys. We meet you tomorrow with a new story. Until you do, like and subscribe.